Welcome to MVA's Bitesize Best Practice on how to host an interactive community listening session. So what is interactive community listening? We know that traditional methods of engagement can present barriers for some people to be heard, such as language, confidence, trust, preferences, abilities, and literacy. With this in mind, an interactive community session centres around one key principle, which is listening without barriers for everyone. We want participants to be able to have their say and have their way. These sessions can offer varied ways for people to communicate their views on particular topics or issues. And the main part of an ICL session evolves around a 3D model representing the areas on the topic that we want to explore with people. So what is an interactive community listening session? It provides listening without barriers. It offers a way for people to communicate their views and provides a 3D model representing the topic being explored. Within that model, there are various topic holder points to support discussions and deeper dives around the key areas within the topic. The session centres around enabling and empowering people to be able to have their say, and they'll be invited to use a range of resources to share their experiences and to convey their thoughts and feelings. That might be stickers, modelling clay, drawing, video recordings. That's just the start of it. So how does an interactive community session work? Well, planning and preparation for the session will start similar to any other traditional listening session. So as a host, you'll need to decide on the people you want to invite, where you'll hold that session, how you'll promote that session, how you'll deliver it, and how you might follow up and report on this session. To help you get started, MVA will supply a wide range of resources to help you do this. You will receive a digital support pack, and this will be full of the promotional materials, templates, social media messages that you might need to use. A participant consent sheet, a full topic briefing so that you can get to grips with the background and the purpose and the wider situation for this program, a discussion guide, the actual ICL model and session support kit, a selection of questions and prompts around the topic that might help you keep the conversation moving and for you to be able to do a deeper dive and probe more on what people are trying to present and convey through the session. A report template and process for you to be able to return all of the feedback after the session has run, and also signposting and resources for any topic that might be discussed, so that if anybody raises issues, you will be able to respond appropriately. So what might you find in an interactive community listening model support kit? Well, you'll find the 3D model and the base with which to stand that on, and your host guide. Within there, you'll also find some stickers for name badges if your participants don't know each other very well, or if it would be a helpful prompt for you to be able to know who you're speaking to as the session is being delivered. You'll find some laminated posters, car park, ideas board, magic wand activity, and these are tools that you can use throughout the session where you can hold issues and thoughts and feelings that are being raised that you might not be able to incorporate within the main discussion, but that are still nonetheless important because the participants have raised those. You'll see smiley face barometers that you can use for people to be able to just simply, as a starter, to be able to say I'm happy, sad, or indifferent about things that are happening at certain places within the model. You'll find a tablet to record, be that audio or videos, or to take photos of people interacting with that model. So here is a good opportunity for people if you want to record in different languages, different formats. The top hat and wand for that, if I had one wish, people can put their ideas within there, and some different coloured post-it notes. you'll find pens, paper, modelling clay, stamps, and also, as I said before, the signposting resources. So within this model and the activities, there will be key areas that you'll want to take people through on the model, but this is an idea of what this kit might represent for you. And what we'll need to remember is that as a host, you'll need to explain these particular materials and how that session will work so that participants will feel comfortable throughout the session. So how do you walk participants through an interactive community listening session? Well, first of all, you would want to take the participants over the 3D model. Explain the different locations that are represented within that model and give details and examples of the sort of treatment or access or activity that might be taking in place there. So, for example, in the model in this picture, there is a hospital, online, healthy living centres, because in this model, they're looking at a cancer system. But there might be any other system or model that you might be looking at. Show the participants the feedback suggestion trees and ask them to use this as a guide if they want to share their barriers, challenges, hopes and needs that they're experiencing at each of those different locations. Again, if we were to think of cancer services, think of the main challenges that people might face at the hospital. For example, are waiting times too long? Could they improve this and how could they improve it? So here you'll see the probing questions as people start to express their thoughts and feelings and their views. Explain that they can do the activities however they like within the allotted time in any order, but the purpose is to get their feedback around these different locations within the model. You can encourage them to use the post-it notes, orange for barriers and challenges and blue for hopes and needs, and get them to write on those post-it notes and place them whereabouts in this model that these things relate to, where they are feeling this is important to them. Explain to the participants that there are blank sheets with locations on if anybody wants to just simply write their feedback down and don't want to interact with the model. It's not compulsory after all. Ask them to write down their location that they are talking about on those notes so that we can make sure that we are picking up and allocating their thoughts and feelings and views to the right place within a system within the model. As the host, you should be asking questions and prompting people to think further about this feedback whilst they're interacting with the model. If you see lots of one particular colour of post-it notes or happy or sad smiley faces in one particular area, it might be worth you noting this with the group and asking them some probing questions about why this is and what can be done, etc. At each location, you will find the smiley barometer station. Here you can place your smiley, frowny face stickers and sum up your overall experiences within the location. But again, as a host, you'll want to do some deeper dive around why people are perhaps happy or sad around that particular place. If people don't want to use the post-it notes or any of the other materials, then just perhaps capture their views on the tablet. But remember, however people want to convey these thoughts, it's your responsibility as the host to use whatever they are presenting to you as the mechanism for you to be able to ask the probing questions and learn more about their experiences. Don't forget, there's also that magic wand to capture views around, if I had the magic wand for services, this is what it would look like. Just a little bit more information around that topic holder. The topic holder on the model will focus on one specific area within a system or a process, and it's an invitation to really focus your participants within that particular area. So the example we have here is the topic holder of a hospital, and within that topic holder you'll see some probing questions for the participants just to get them started on thinking about that particular area of the model. So how did you find accessing services? Were there any unmet needs here? What would the improvements you would suggest and why? What are your concerns about this? So as a host, you can direct participants to sort of think about those questions and engage in the conversation around that particular topic holder, remembering all the time to be asking probing questions. So your role as a host for an interactive community listening session. The most important part of your role as the host is for you to engage with and capture participants' stories with the view to developing actionable insights that improve services and support for everyone. And the key here is the focus on actionable insights. An actionable insight identifies the why around a person's views or thoughts or feelings. So this is where your probing questions really become invaluable. So you need to find out the why around why something is happening to somebody, and by extension, how it might be addressed. As the host, you'll need to set the scene for participants by providing a brief background to this research topic and the purpose of the research and explaining how the model will work. You might need to establish some ground rules for the session. For example, making sure that you're able to respect everybody's views and that if emotional topics come up, that people are supported appropriately, and that you might also need to talk about the key points of the participant consent sheet as an introduction within the host, your hosting role. Once all of that is completed, do a walkthrough of the interactive community listening model. Explain what each area is representing and why we are asking the questions at these particular points. Invite participants to begin interacting with the model. And at this point, you will want to introduce the resources with which they can do that interaction. For example, the modelling clay, the post-its, the video. Explain to them that however they wish to share their thoughts and feelings, you will use this to inspire you to ask probing questions, to learn more about their experiences, and to identify actionable insights. Throughout the session, monitor the participants interacting with the model and use their interactions to decide on what prompts and questions you'll need to ask to draw out more detailed responses and insights. You'll do this at each of the topic holder points, and you might use your tablet to provide you, to record their views, either in the main session, or you might take them aside to do this in private if you feel that would be more appropriate. Once everyone has had the opportunity to interact with the model, review the responses and ask any final probing questions to clarify any of the responses provided. Close the session and ask participants to rate how useful they felt that session was. And capture the responses and insights gained throughout the session through a variety of ways. Photograph the model and interactions using the tablet provided with your pack. Pack all of the comments, notes into the relevant topic holder envelopes and pass the photos, recordings and notes to MVA, where we will collate them so that they can be combined with other responses from other ICL hosts, and collectively this feedback will be used as set out in your discussion and topic guide. Don't forget, when you're compiling your notes, to have noted the name and date for your group session so that we know what they relate to. These sessions are likely to be very busy, and so we do recommend that you might want to have an assistant host with you to help capture the information that is being shared during the session. But again, remember, the most important part of your host role is to capture the actionable insights to help improve future local services and support for all communities. So what are the next steps? If you are new to undertaking listening sessions, please complete our short Core Skills for ICL Host training. It covers the topics of building rapport, listening, questioning, managing difficult situations, and research ethics. Anyone who has completed MVA's focus group facilitator training will have already covered these topics, so you don't need to do this training again. Please utilise the ICL Host Guidance and Resource Pack. It breaks down every step of delivering an ICL session and will be helpful to you as a host. Read the research topic briefing and overview and ask the MVA team if you have any questions. You will be invited to read a topic briefing and overview every time there is a new research topic that you are hosting within an ICL session. Please deliver your ICL session and then report back to MVA in line with the guidance they have given you in terms of reporting. Thank you for watching this bite-sized briefing on hosting interactive community listening sessions. If you would like further information or support on this topic, please contact a member of the MVA team who will be happy to help you. Thank you once again for listening.